Hi, I'm Ruby G with Truth and Neurons. Today we'll be travelling back in time to the beginning of the investigation to discuss the IDAHO4 case. We'll examine accounts of key witnesses including Cathy, Mabbutt, the coroner, the surviving roommates, and Kaylee Goncalves' parents, Christy and Steve Goncalves. These individuals were among the first to discover or be notified about the victims' bodies.
Autopsies on the 4 students found each had multiple stab wounds. Some had defensive wounds, showing they fought with the attacker. And there was no sexual assault. County Coroner Cathy Mabbutt is describing the murders as personal.
What's the genesis for this? How does he assess that these injuries are different? Did he see this other victim's body? Was he the one drawing this conclusion? I doubt that that's the case. So is he saying that the coroner sat there and said, your child's injuries are so much more worse than any other victim? That's what I have a real problem with here. First off, I don't know how accurate that is. And secondly, and I think bigger, it's very disrespectful to these other victims. Very disrespectful to these victims and their families to say this. 2 victims, well, both sets of victims are actually co-sleeping with one another. So you're telling me that in the darkness or whatever the lighting situation was, that this individual, the perpetrator, this monster came out of the dark and was able to identify this specific individual and target her, because that's what's being implied here, that she was specifically targeted. Ergo, that how this is demonstrated is the fact that her injuries were so much more robust than any other injuries that anybody might have had. I just don't see how he's arriving at that conclusion.
I do think that his plan went awry. I do think that, he intended to kill 1 and killed 4.
He says he has his own suspicions about what may have happened. He's not revealing at this point. What did you make of this comment where, again, he says the coroner told him that the perpetrator was a strong individual, but we know the police haven't identified. I got outraged by them not just coming out and saying this was a woman or a man, because they should know by the amount of strength it took to deliver the injuries. They're just being cowards. There are girls walking around the street right now that deserve to know they should be looking out for a sadistic male. What do you think?
Wow, he's into profiling now. Okay.
I was also told from sources that are closer to an investigation, because there was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of this crime scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body. Can you confirm that?
We cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and it's, I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911, somebody was reported unconscious.
Hey, what's up? It's 616, shorty bad as fuck. We're red lipstick, but I'm...
Who called 911? We're learning that the caller was not either of the 2 roommates who live in the house and apparently slept through the massacre. So the mystery is, who did make that 911 call to police, and how did that person make the gruesome discovery? I spoke with County Prosecutor Bill Thompson.
It's an essential part of the case. Whoever discovered the scene first, whoever initiated the contact with law enforcement is all part of understanding what occurred and the timeline of what occurred.
He told me the 2 roommates may have critical information.
The investigators are already talking to them and trying to get from them everything they can possibly remember about what they may have seen, what they may have heard, what they may have heard. What their activities were, what they know about the activities of their housemates.
The county coroner in this case, Cathy Mabbutt. Cathy Mabbutt just happens to be James Leonard's defense attorney.
Fight!
Former chief of the Federal Violent Crime Criminal Apprehension Program, and he's also a former police officer. So, Michael Harrigan, I don't know where to start. We got a guy with a gash in his arm. Okay, maybe the wound is more recent than one from 3 weeks ago. He's violent. He has a penchant for knives, was found with 2 of them on him, has no problem beating up women and daughters, people close to him, and has no problem shooting a man dead because they were in an argument about girlfriends, and then asking to bury the body secretly so no one could see it. Do you have a shovel? Walk through maybe why the police are saying that his arrest is unrelated to this murder. Nothing to see here.
So this guy would have been somebody the investigators would have been all over on this one. So this guy would have been somebody the investigators would have been all over on this one, looking at him. But it wouldn't be probably too hard to rule him out if they knew he was somewhere else at the time the crime was committed.
That's all for today's episode of Truth and Neurons. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the ethics of media commentary in high-profile cases. Until next time, keep thinking critically and questioning everything. Cheers, bye!